Good morning, students. We begin with our today's lecture. In today's lecture, we will look into how to generate a square wave using mode 2, that is auto reload mode. Then we will look into how to generate a 40% duty cycle square wave. In yesterday's lecture, we had generated a 50% duty cycle square wave. So in today's lecture, we will look into how to generate a 40% duty cycle square wave. And then we will look into how to use mode 0 for generating delays and for generating square waves. Okay, so let us begin with square wave generation using mode 2. Fine. So see here, students, in yesterday's problem, we will continue with designing it using mode 2. In what was that yesterday's statement? Yesterday's statement is obtain a square wave of 10 kilohertz on port 1.0 bit of microcontroller. Correct? So to obtain 10 kilohertz square wave, the total time was 0.1 millisecond. We assumed it as 50% duty cycle square wave, and hence the on time and the off time is half of 0.1 millisecond. So that came as 0.05 milliseconds. So we will be using timer to generate a delay of 0.05 millisecond. And the calculation, the count calculation came as 50 in decimal. Now with this count is within the maximum limit of mode 0, mode 1 as well as mode 2 as well as mode 3. So we decided to obtain the square wave using mode 1 in yesterday's lecture. Is that okay? Depending on what is the range, what count calculation you have got, and what is the maximum range of the count in the respective modes, we decide which timer mode or which counter mode is to be selected. Now with the count 50, I can use timer in any of the mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Yesterday we looked into square wave generation using mode 1. Today we will look into the square wave generation using mode 2. And as I told you all, mode 2 is an auto reload mode. We need square wave to be generated. Mean count delay should be auto loaded so that I get a continuous square wave. So for square wave generation, mode 2 is the most appropriate timer mode which should be selected. Is that okay? Now yesterday what we did is just a quick revise. So we calculated the count. Later on we subtract timer in mode 1. Okay, and then how did we generate the square wave? We set the P1.0 bit and we called the timer function. We called the timer program which was generating a delay of 0.05 milliseconds. Then we cleared the same P1.0 bit and called the same timer delay program. Okay. And we kept on repeating these 1 to 4 steps to get a continuous square wave. And then that timer program, we did write it as a function. What did we do? We first initialized the TMOD register, timer 1, operating in mode 1. We cleared the overflow flag. We loaded the counts in TH1, TL1 registers. We started the timer, checked the overflow flag bit. If the overflow flag is set, returned to the main, and if it is not set, we kept on checking the flag again and again. So that was the algorithm. Now let us go for generating that 10 kilohertz, same 10 kilohertz square wave using timer 1, but it is in mode 2, auto reload mode. Okay, so when it is in auto reload mode, what is the maximum count? The count calculation came as 50, right? Actual count that should be loaded is now, we are in mode 2. So the maximum count is, it's an 8-bit timer counter. So the maximum count is 256. So the actual count that should be loaded is 256 minus 50. Okay, that comes as 206. Keep in mind, students, mode 2 is an 8-bit timer counter mode. Hence the maximum count that should be subtracted is 256 minus the calculated count. So the actual count loaded comes as 206. In decimal, convert it into hex, we get that count which is to be loaded, 8-bit count that is to be loaded, and that is CE hex. Is that okay? So we have already decided we will be using timer 1 and in mode 2, which is an auto reload. Is that fine? So it's only that 8-bit count which we need to load, and into which register we will be loading it in the higher register. Keep in mind, students, right? And internally, when we start that timer counting operation, that higher register count gets loaded in the lower register on its own automatically internally, right? And when that lower register count overflows, the reloading happens, that CE gets loaded again in the TL1 register. So that auto reload will be happening automatically internally. Okay, so that 8-bit count, keep in mind, where should we be loading? In TH1 register. Okay, now let us start with the programming part. See, the algorithm is the same. We will set that bit, call the timer program. Now the timer will be operating in mode 2. Then we will clear the bit, and again we will call the timer program. But as we go on writing the program, we will do few changes, because see, we are operating now in mode 2. What is the speciality of mode 2? Auto reloading. It is continuously counting. Even after the overflow, the original count gets loaded and the counting keeps on happening continuously. Whereas in mode 1, see your students, in case of mode 1, right, that count that we loaded, just let us go to, what was the count that we loaded? FFCE. Okay, now after FFCE it goes on +1 +1, and when it becomes FFFF, and it rolls over to 000 back. After that overflow, the count is lost. What was the count that we had loaded? When we kept timer 1 in mode 1, the count loaded was FFCE. And after FFCE, the count up started on its own. And when it reaches to FFFF, we get a delay of 0.05 milliseconds. After FFFF, what is the count that gets loaded in those registers? In mode 1, the count loaded is 0000. Are you getting me? Mean that FFCE count is lost. It is only mode 0, mode 1, mode 3 are one-time operating counts, one-time occurring events, right? But whereas mode 2, what is that? That CE hex will be saved in TH1 register, and even after CE hex, CE, CF and so on, when the count up reaches FF, there is an overflow. After FF, what is a new count? There is an overflow 00, so the flag sets, but then that CE count which is stored in higher register gets reloaded in the lower register. So the new counting again begins from CE +1 +1 +1, CE and in up direction. Is that okay? So this can be repetitive. Programmer need not load the counts again and again. Once the count is loaded, it will keep on counting up. After overflow, again reload the count and keep on counting up. So this is a continuous, and that's the importance of having auto reload, and that's why we can generate a square wave continuously. Is that okay? Right? Now, so as to get a continuous square wave, you should not stop the timers. Is that okay? Whenever you have it in mode 2, whenever the timer is in mode 2, do not stop the timers. Right? How do you stop the timer? By setting the run bit, you start it, and by clearing the run bit, you stop it. So if you want that auto reload to happen, if you want the counters to reload again and again, do not stop the timer whenever it is in mode 2. If you stop the timer, then again you have to reload it, mean you have to do all the initializations again. Is that okay? So keep in mind, let the timer be in any mode, mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. Once you stop the timer, you need to load the counts again. In case of mode 0, mode 1, mode 3, you have to stop the timers because they are one time, because they count only once, they count up only once. Whereas mode 2, the counting can be continuous again and again, provided the timers should not be stopped. Okay, now with all this in mind, let us go for programming. Okay, the way we have thought of in mode 1, what is the first thing that we will do is, we'll start with the program org000. Now see, I will not write it as a function. Mean actually, when I'm using mode 2, it means microcontroller will be continuously operating in mode 2. Is that okay? Right? Mean that whenever I use that mode 2, and I keep on checking the flag again and again. That is, if I'm using polling technique, correct? If I'm using timer in mode 2 and I'm using polling technique, then that timer program itself becomes the main program, provided I'm not stopping the timer. Hope you are getting me, students. Else, what is another way to come out of this? I don't want microcontroller to be stuck up in operating in timer and in mode 2. Then what you can do is, you can make use of timer interrupts. Okay, set the timer in mode 2, activate the interrupts, right? So that the counting will keep on happening, whereas microcontroller can do some another operation. Now the way we are writing the program, the interrupt thing we will see when we study interrupts. But now the way we will be writing the program, we will be using polling technique to check the overflow. Correct? So this will become my main program. Right? So we will start with org000 and then sjump to next, and this is where we start writing a program. So what is the first thing that we will do? See, we will write the program as we had thought of the algorithm when we did square wave in mode 1. We will go it exactly like that, and then we will do the changes. Okay, so set the bit, and now I will write that timer program. So for timer program, first initialize tmod register. So mov tmod, right? Now see, the control word is going to change because we have changed the mode. We are using mode 2. So see, what is the control word, students? The control word is going to be, let me come to that slide, right? The control word is going to be, that's the gate bit. Okay, hope you are able to see what I'm highlighting. Okay, see here. So that's the gate bit. Then this is timer / counter, c/t bar. So that is also 0. And see here, these are the 2 bits indicating mode 2. Correct? And timer 0, we are not using it. So making all those 4 bits 0, 0, 0, 0. Actually, whatever you put here, it's going to be ignored. So you put 1, 1, 1, you put 0, 0, 0, it is going to be ignored. Right? So we are going to use timer 1 in mode 2. So the control word is going to become as 20 hex, or else I have written here in binary. So that is tmod register 20 hex. Right? Then you clear that flag just for precaution purpose. If there is any previous overflow, let that be cleared. Then now load the count. Where will you be loading the count? In the higher register. What was the count? CE. So load the count CE hex in the higher register TH1. Correct? Now start the timer at bit TR1, and now keep on checking the overflow flag. So see here, students, with the help of instruction, you are continuously checking whether that TF1 flag is set or not. Mean whether the overflow has arrived or not. That is called polling technique. Whether the certain operation is done or not, if it is checked by an instruction, it is called as polling. Is that okay? Right? Now, instead, for checking this flag, microcontroller is continuously busy checking that. Correct? Microcontroller will be continuously checking jump if the bit is set. Is TF1 1? Is TF1 1? Mean microcontroller is fully busy executing this instruction. It cannot do any other operation because you have made microcontroller to keep on doing this. So this is called polling technique. The other one is whether that overflow flag has arrived or not can be understood by enabling the timer interrupt, timer 1 interrupt. Correct? So we will set the run bit. It means the timer will start counting up, and we will not write this instruction. Right? We will not write this instruction. Immediately next, we will write some other program. And whenever there is an overflow, automatically the interrupt will be generated and microcontroller will stop the current execution and jump to the interrupt vector. Right? Which timer I am using? Timer 1. So it will jump to timer 1 vector address. And there I will generate the square wave. We will see this when we study interrupt. But now we started the timer and we will keep on, microcontroller will keep on checking the flag bit. Now as soon as there is an overflow, right, it will not jump. It will come out of the jump loop. What do we need to do? We need to only clear the flag. See here students, I want a continuous square wave, mean this counting up should happen again and again. So I am not stopping the timer. I am just clearing the overflow flag. But then what I need to do? I need a square wave. So I initially sent logic 1 on P1.0 and we waited for how much time? 0.05 milliseconds. That 0.05 milliseconds was generated by timer 1 mode 2. And once the flag bit is set, mean 0.05 milliseconds are over. So let me clear the overflow flag, and now what I need to do? I need to clear P1.0. Okay, so just let me change this. What do I need to do? I need to CLR, clear that P1.0. Is that okay? And then next, I need to repeat. I need to be in loop. Now from where to go up? See here. I need not initialize the tmod again and again. Clear TF1. See that third instruction, that is just for a precaution. The next instruction MOV TH1. We are in mode 2, so we need not load the count again and again. And I didn't stop the timer. Correct? I didn't stop the timer, so I need not do set bit again and again. So it means after sending logic 0, what do I need to do? I just need to, that auto reloading is going to happen on its own. CE will be loaded again. The timer is already in the counting operation. So where do I need to jump? I just need to jump just to check whether there is a second overflow occurring or not. Correct? So after clearing P1.0 bit, I need to go back to which instruction? Jump if the overflow flag is set or not. Is that okay? But then see, there is a problem. Right? If I do it like this, jump here, then what am I doing? Again, clear the overflow flag, clear P1.0, and again going up. So that every time when I go into loop, what am I doing is I'm just clearing P1.0. Right? How do I get a square wave? I mean, again, this is not something correct. We need to modify it. Initially, when I clear P1.0 and I jump up, the count gets reloaded. And now what should happen? P1.0 should be set. Again, when we go back to that JNB instruction, now it should be cleared. So every time as we go on alternate in that loop, in the first case, in the first time, it should be cleared. Second time in the loop, it should be set, P1.0 should be set. Third time in the loop, clear P1.0. Fourth, set P1.0. This is what it should happen. So mean in one case, it's clearing P1.0. Immediately in the next case, it is setting P1.0. That's how we will get a square wave. Yes or no? Right? So then I need to do modification. Instead of writing clear, in one time I need clear, second time I need set. One time that bit is logic 0, second time the bit should be logic 1. So what alternative instruction can I write here? Right? Are you understanding that? In one, at first instance, we are sending logic 0 on P1.0. At the second time, I should be sending logic 1. So logic 1, logic 0, logic 1, logic 0 should keep on happening. Correct? So instead of writing CLR P1.0, I could write complement P1.0. See your students. Right? And then that's going to solve the problem. Okay, so let us look at from the beginning, as we thought of send logic 1 on the port pin and write the timer program to generate a delay of 0.05 milliseconds. So that is MOV TMOD 20 hex, clear TF1, MOV TH1, the higher count is loaded in higher register, the 8-bit count is loaded in higher register, and we started the timer. Right? Since it is in mode 2, we should not reload the count. We are not stopping the timers. Right? So in loop, I should just be in a loop, checking the overflow flag, clearing it. Checking the overflow flag, clearing it. Correct? But while doing this, while checking the overflow flag, I should also generate a square wave. So send logic 0, then send logic 1. That will be done by the instruction complement P1.0. Is that okay, students? Right? So writing a program for square wave in mode 1 is a different technique. And writing a square wave program in mode 2 is a different technique. Hope do you get me, students? So just let me show you the mode 1, right? Just let me show you that algorithm, right? That's mode 1. Send logic 1 on P1.0, call the timer program. Clear P1.0, call the timer program. And since the timer is in mode 1, it is only one time counting event, one time count operation it will do. So we initialized TMOD, we loaded the count, we checked the flag, we cleared the flag, stopped the timer, and we returned back. So this was mode 1 square wave generation. Correct? Whereas in case of mode 2, this is how we need to write the program. Is that okay? Now see here, students, initially I had written set bit P1.0. I even need not do this. See, I need not do that, right? So instead of setting, since we had thought of the algorithm like this, since I'm going to write complement instruction, correct? Right? Just let me change the slide. And let me see if the same slide is visible to you all. Yes. So, see, I need not write this instruction at the beginning because this is going to only happen once. Correct? The generating square wave is going to be done by that CPL P1.0 bit. So let me not write anything initially on P1.0. Let me initialize the timer, in fact. Right? So 20 hex, clear the flag. So let me initialize the timer first. Start it. Right? And whatever be the status on P1.0, by default, when we reset microcontroller, logic 1 appears on all the port pins. So when we will enter in the loop, it will complement that, make it logic 0. Later on, we will jump back again to check the flag, and it will complement the earlier status.
So initially it was logic 1, it will become logic 0. Now again it will become logic 1, and that's how this is a program to generate a square wave using mode 2. Hope this is understood to you all students, right? But if you do the program like this, that timer program will act as a main program, because this is where microcontroller is continuously busy checking the flag bit. It cannot do any other operation. Okay. So generally whenever we use mode 2, we make use of timer interrupts. Keep that in mind. Okay, students. So hope this is clear. Square wave generation is possible using mode 1 as well as it is possible using mode 2. Okay. Now let us go for the next. Now the earlier program was a 50% duty cycle square wave. Now let us see if I have a variable duty cycle square wave. Suppose the statement is telling you obtain a 40% duty cycle square wave. Okay, so let us read the problem statement. Write a program to generate a square wave of 100 Hz with 40% duty cycle on port 1.7 bit, P1.7 bit of 8051 microcontroller. And assume the oscillator frequency is 11.0592 megahertz. I keep on telling our students, this is that exact oscillator frequency. We just round it up and say 12. So let us use that exact frequency in this particular problem. Right? Now what is to be noticed? See here students, 100 Hz square wave and the duty cycle is 40%. So I told you all yesterday's lecture, duty cycle indicates how much is the on time period of the square wave. For how much time duration the square wave is logic 1. And 40% means 40% of the total time. The total time of the square wave. Right? Now let us find out. It is told frequency is given to us 100 Hz. So let us find out what is the time period of a single square wave. Right? So when I say 100 Hz frequency, 1 upon 100 Hz will give me the time. So 1 upon 100 is 0.01 seconds. I am converting it to milliseconds. So 0.01 seconds will be 10 milliseconds. So one square wave, right? The total time period of one square wave is 10 milliseconds. Correct? Now 40% duty cycle. What does that mean? 40% of 10 millisecond. The square wave is logic 1. So that means 40% duty cycle. Okay. So when we say 40% duty cycle, that indicates the on time period is 40% of the total time. Right? The square wave is logic 1 for 4 milliseconds. And it is logic 0 for the remaining milliseconds. What is the total time? 10 milliseconds. Right? So the off time period means the square wave is logic 0 for total time minus the on time. Total time is 10 milliseconds and the on time was 4 milliseconds. The off time is 6 milliseconds. Okay, and even from here itself you can understand, if 40% is the on time, the remaining is off. So the remaining is 60%. It will be the off time period. Right? So it means I need a square wave whose time period is like, it will be logic 1 for 4 milliseconds and logic 0 for 6 milliseconds. In this way, the total time of the square wave is 10 milliseconds. In turn, generating a 100 Hz square wave. Hope you get me that, students. Now here, the on time is different and the off time is different. In earlier program, 50% duty cycle. So 0.5 millisecond on time, 0.5 millisecond off time. Here that is not the case. Here the on time and the off times are different. And these time periods will be generated by timers. Okay, students. So now, see again, 4 milliseconds, 6 milliseconds. The delays are different. So it is always more appropriate to use mode 1. Correct? Since the delays are different. If I use mode 2, right? If I use mode 2, it is an auto reload. So if I put the count calculations of 4 milliseconds, every time I'll be getting 4 milliseconds. Or if I put count calculations of 6 milliseconds, every time the 6 millisecond count will be auto reloaded. Okay. In case if you have different time intervals, it is most appropriate to go for mode 1. Is that okay? Mode 2, again, if I want different time intervals, then I need to stop the timer. Then it is of no use. I'm not using that auto reload facility. Correct? So just remember this. For different time intervals, it is preferable to use mode 1. So I'll use timer to generate. I'll find out the count calculations for 2 different time intervals. One is 4 milliseconds, other is 6 milliseconds. Is that fine? Now, the same, because of this different T on and T off time period, see, the same problem statement can be given in some different way. Earlier, what was a problem statement? Generate a square wave of 100 Hz. Now, what is a problem statement? See here, same. Right? The meaning of the logic is the same, but the statement formation is a bit different. See, what is a statement? The same program can be mentioned as: write a program to generate a square wave with on time 4 milliseconds and off time 6 milliseconds on P1.7 bit of 8051 microcontroller. Right? Assume oscillator frequency is 11.05. So even like this it can be mentioned. They will clearly give you what is the on time period of the square wave, logic 1 time period, and what is the off time period of the square wave. Else they will give you the frequency with the duty cycle. Whatever duty cycle is mentioned, that is that on time period of the square wave. Hope this is understood to you all, students. Okay. So then what have we decided? We will be using mode 1, right? And again, which timer to use? It's not mentioned. So let me use timer 0 in mode 1. And there are different time delays. One is 4 milliseconds and the other is 6 milliseconds. So I need to do 2 count calculations. Correct? And then how will I be writing the program? Generating a square wave, set P1.7 bit, right? So set means sending logic 1. For how long will I send logic 1? For 4 milliseconds. Correct? So we will set P1.7 bit and call the timer delay program to generate 4 millisecond delay. Then we will clear P1.7 bit and we will call the timer program to generate a delay of 6 milliseconds. So when we set, the timer function is of 4 milliseconds, called is of 4 milliseconds, and when we clear that port bit, another timer delay program of 6 milliseconds will be called. Is that okay? So let us do the count calculations. We need to do such 2 count calculations. So let us start with 4 millisecond delay count calculations. Okay. So you know this relation by now. Count is oscillator divided by 12 into required. So my required frequency is 1 upon 4 milliseconds. And remember, oscillator is 11.0592 megahertz. So when you do these calculations, you are going to get the count as 3686.4. You will get something in fraction now, because that oscillator frequency is in fractions. Okay. After the decimal point, if there is a number lesser than 5, we round up to we round to the lower side. If after the decimal point 5 and above, we round up. Now this is 0.4, so we round it towards the lower side. So then that fraction number, we take it into integer 3686. Correct? And we have already decided we will be using mode 1 and we will be using timer 0. Now, one more thing to be noticed here, students. If your count is 3686, 3686, I cannot use mode 2. From here also there is one indication which mode to use. Mode 2 is 8-bit. The maximum count is 256. This is greater than 256. So mode 2 8-bit counter is not applicable. It cannot give you a delay of 4 milliseconds. You have to go for mode 0, mode 1. Mode 2, mode 3 not applicable. Is that okay, students? So from the count also you can decide which mode is applicable to us. Right? So now in our case we are selecting mode 1. In mode 1 the maximum count is 65536. So then these many clock pulses can easily be counted. 3686 clock pulses can easily be counted. Okay, so therefore using mode 1 and we are using timer 0. This we have assumed it. It was not mentioned in the problem statement. Okay. So now this is a count calculation, no doubt, but actual count loaded will be 65536 minus the calculated one. That comes to be 61,850 converted into hex. F19A is the count that we will be loaded, which will give you a delay of 4 milliseconds. Okay. So mode 1, lower register, the lower count 9A, higher register, the count F1. So these are the count calculations to generate 4 milliseconds delay. On the similar basis, you need to find out for 6 milliseconds also. And many of the time in exam, they clearly mention, show the delay calculations. So you need to show these calculations, students, and then we need to write the program. Okay. Now we will find out the off time period. T off is 6 milliseconds. Now again use that formula, count is equal to F oscillator upon 12 into 1 upon 6 milliseconds, and you do those calculations and see you will get a count as 5529.6, 5529.6. Now after the decimal point, it's greater, the number is greater than 5, so we are rounding it up. And finally we are considering the count, round up count as 5530. In the earlier case, we had rounded it down because it was 0.4. Okay, students. So here we have rounded up, and now actual count loaded will be 65536 minus the calculated. That comes as 60,006, converting it into hex EA66, and then loading this in the timer registers. So we have already decided timer 0 mode 1. Load the lower count in TR0, higher count in TH. So these are two different delay calculations, 40% duty cycle, one of 4 milliseconds and the other T off was of 6 milliseconds. Is that okay? So now let us go for writing the program directly. See your students. So we are writing the program to generate 40% duty cycle on P1.7 bit. Okay, so let us, whenever we are using mode 1, we can write in the timer program as a function. Mode 2, that timer program itself is your main program. Okay, if you are using interrupts, it can be written as function, mode 2. So as we thought of our main program, ORG00, so your first instruction is set P1.7. and we will call the timer program which generates a delay of 4 milliseconds. So I have just some label to be given. I have given T40. Is that okay? Or I can just change it to, let me change it to T4 milliseconds. Let me change 4 milliseconds and let this be 6 milliseconds. Hope you are seeing the changes. So set P1.7. So send logic 1, that is on time period. Wait for how much? 4 milliseconds. So T4M is a label for that timer program, which generates a delay of 4 milliseconds. Then clear the port pin and wait for 6 milliseconds. So we will call another timer program which will generate a delay of 6 milliseconds. And we will keep it this in loop. Set the bit, clear the bit, so as to generate square wave. Now what is left? I need to write two functions, two timer functions. One generating a delay of 4 milliseconds and another generating a delay of 6 milliseconds. So the label I have given is T4 millisecond and the other label is T6 millisecond. Okay. So now we are using timer 0 in mode 1. So what is the T mode control word? The upper 4 bits will be 0, 0, 0. We are not using timer 1. We are using timer 0. So the gate bit is 0, C/T bar 0, and it is mode 1. So 0, 1. The control word comes as 0, 1. Correct. So for both the functions, see here on left hand side is a function, timer function to generate delay of 4 milliseconds. On right hand side, timer program to generate a delay of 6 milliseconds. Okay. So first control word, MOV T mode, clearing that overflow flag for precaution. Then loading the count. What was that 4 millisecond count? F1 9A. So 9A, load the lower count in TL0 register. MOV TH0, hash F1, loading the higher count. Start the timer. Keep on checking the flag bit JNB TF0. If the flag bit is set, stop the timer, hence clear the run bit. What are we doing here? We are stopping the timer. Again, we will clear the overflow flag and we will return. So it does not matter. See, at the beginning we had cleared, so that by default any previous overflow is getting cleared. As well as soon as we stop the timer, we are clearing that overflow flag. Because that's very important. Or else we will not get an indication. Right? So we are clearing the flag and then returning to the program. Okay, students. So set bit P1.7 and L call this 4 millisecond delay. So that left hand program is called. Later on, clear the port pin and call 6 millisecond delay. That is a right hand side program is called now. So P6M, 6 millisecond. So again here, initialize, clear the flag, load now 6 millisecond count. That is EA66. Lower count is loaded, higher count is loaded. Start the timer, check the flag bit. If the flag bit is 1, stop the timer, clear the flag and return. So this program is called, that after clearing that P1.7 bit, 6 millisecond timer delay is called. And then that gets repeated. Okay. And again, as I say always, one modification we need to do whenever we are using functions, correct? Whenever we make use of function, please do not forget to write, to initialize the stack. So MOV SP, hash 50 hex. Never forget that. And now to keep it in loop, I just need to set that port pin and clear that port pin. I need not initialize stack again and again. So I take another label, sjump up, and that up label is set the port bit, call 4 millisecond delay, clear the port bit, call 6 millisecond delay. Keep this in loop so as to generate a 40% duty cycle square wave. Hope this is understood to your students. That's how now any duty cycle given 80-20. So logic 1, 80% it is logic 1, 20% the square wave is logic 0. Right? This is how you generate different duty cycle square waves. Hope you are getting me, students. Now one more point here. This also, if you keep on changing the count, see what was the count, students? In one case it was EA66, so that was off time, correct? And what was the on time? F19A, correct? Now if I want pulse modulated square wave, mean I need to keep on continuously changing that logic 1 the pulse widths of the square wave, right? So see, if I want to increase the on time, the corresponding count should become lesser. And if I want to decrease, right, if I want to decrease the off time, correct, if I want to decrease the off time, the count should be increased, right? That's how you will be able to generate a pulse width modulated square wave. Okay. What is pulse width modulation? Changing the changing the widths, pulse widths of the square wave. Logic 1 pulse width, logic 0 pulse width, right? Whereas the frequency remains the same. When I say 100 Hertz, even if you change the widths, at 100 Hertz should remain 100 Hertz. Total time does not change. Only the duration of logic 1, logic 0 of the square wave changes. That is a pulse width modulated signal. This is fine with you all, students? Square wave and pulse width modulation. Fine. Okay. Up till now we saw delay program, square wave program using mode 1, using mode 2, right? Now we will see the same delay program or the same square wave generation can also be obtained using mode 0. Right? What is mode 0? Mode 0 is a 13-bit timer counter. Is that okay? So, just let me write it there. Mode 0. What is mode 0? Mode 0 is 13-bit, correct, timer counter. 13-bit timer counter. Correct. Now, I can, as I said, I can use mode 0. Again, it is one-time count operating mode. Right? So, you need to start the timer. Once the count is finished, there is an overflow indication. After getting overflow, you need to stop the timer. You need to clear the flag, right? And you need to reload the counts. You need to write an instruction to load the counts again. Right? So mode 0. But the thing is, the count that is to be loaded is only 13-bit. So let us see. So what is the difference in mode 0, mode 1? It's only loading the count. In mode 1, it is 16-bit. In mode 0, it is 13-bit. Rest, whatever programming logic you have used for mode 1 is applicable for mode 0 also. Right? So we have seen delay program using mode 1. We have seen square wave generation using mode 1. The same programming logic is applicable for mode 0. Where is the difference? In storing the counts. So let us see only that difference. So let me see that 4 millisecond delay, whatever delay calculations we have got. 4 millisecond. What was that 4 millisecond count? Right, see your students, when we did that 4 millisecond, so just let me go back. So 4 millisecond, what was that count? 3686. Okay, this is the count that we had got, 4 milliseconds. Right, so let me come back here. So 4 milliseconds delay count calculations. What was that we had got? 3686. Now this count, calculated count, should be subtracted from the maximum count. Right, now 13-bit. What is the maximum count? 2 raised to 13, and that comes as 8192. Okay, so the actual count that you will be loading in the registers is the maximum count 8192 minus the calculated count 3686. Right, so there is a difference. Now the maximum count is 8192. So the calculated count is to be subtracted from 8192 and you get it as 4506. So the count that will be loaded is 4506. This is a decimal number. I will be converting it into hex. So the count, that actual count that will be loaded in the register is 1198. Is that okay? Now just I have written it in binary. See at the downside. That is 10001. 1198 is in hexadecimal. I am writing that hexadecimal number in binary. So 0001. So that's again 1. Then that's 9, 1001. And A is 10, 1010. Now out of this 16-bit count, what am I going to use? Only the 13 bits. 0 to 12. Okay, students. And out of that 13 bits, 5 bits, the lower 5 bits in the lower register and the immediately next 8 bits in the higher register. So what are the lower 5 bits? See here, students. The lower 4 bits and the 5th bit. So what is the 5th bit? 1. And the lower 4 bits are 1010. So these are the 5 bits that will be loaded in TL0 register. So what is getting loaded in TL register? This is that 1 bit 1. So 1 and the lower 4 bits A. So in TL0 register, right, we are using mode 0. What is to be loaded in TL0 register? The lower 5 bits. 11010. That's binary. I'm writing it in hex 1A. And the immediately next 8 bits. Correct? These were the lower 5 bits. The immediately next 8 bits. So see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the 8 bits. Those 8 bits should be loaded in higher register. So what are those 8 bits? 1, 1. Correct? What are the higher 8 bits? So the higher 8 bits is, hope you can see that. So the higher 8 bits, the immediately next 8 bits are, right? See here. I am starting from the lower side. So 001, 10001. So look here, I am showing here. These were the 5 bits. We separated that out. Immediately next is 001, 10001. So 001, 10001. And now writing this as an 8-bit number. So see, grouping of 4 bits. That blue color I have highlighted. These will be grouped as one hexadecimal number. And then remaining 4 bits as another hexadecimal number. So that becomes 8. 100 is 8. And 110 is C. The red color is C. That is what will be loaded in higher register. Are you getting me? That's the only difference. Okay. So that's again I repeat, students. Mode 0. Depending on that formula, count is equal to F oscillator upon 12 into required frequency. What is my required frequency? 1 upon 4 milliseconds. So the count comes as 3686. Subtract 3686 from maximum count 8192. 2 raised to 13 is 8192. You will get the count in hexadecimal 119A. Write that in binary. Pick the lower 5 bits and put it in lower register. And the immediate next 8 bits, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up to 12. The immediate next 8 bits load it in higher register. So lower 5 bits in lower register, the immediate next 8 bits in higher register. So the count that will be loaded is 8C1A. Right? So that's the actual count came as 119A. But then grouping of those 13 bits, the count loaded is 8C1A hex. Okay, students? Okay. So hope you all have understood this, right? So we have made use of timer to generate delays. We have used timer to generate a square wave, 50% duty cycle. Then we saw 40% duty cycle. Square wave can be obtained using mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, provided the maximum maximum count range, right? Whatever calculated count should fit into the maximum count range, right? If the count is lesser than or equal to 256, use mode 2. If it's an auto reload continuous square wave, preferable is mode 2, but the count limit is 256 counts. If more than 256 counts, use mode 0, mode 1, any one of that. Mode 3 is similar to mode 2. Only thing is mode 3 is not an auto reload. It is just 8-bit timer counter. Okay, students. So thank you for attending today's session, and we complete here the timer peripheral. Okay, thank you and see you in the next session. Bye, students.